So I'm sure you've come across unfinished CG scenes where it's like, there's placeholders and you can see the blue screen or the green screen.
Missing scenes or whatever.
Yeah, you can see the people in the mocap suits, or, they're supposed to be afraid or talking to something that's not there. It looks kind of goofy.
The rough draft.
Right.
Yes.
So imagine going into a movie theater and still seeing in this high budget blockbuster movie with
Massive
all these big
CG.
stars in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With this cheap,
that's what you're presented with.
Weak.
And the reason I bring that up is because apparently that's happened to the movie Cats. So there's some people who have seen the movie, even in a normal movie theater, that have seen it in this rough CG unfinished state. Because they were working on it, and if you read into this movie's production history, I guess there's all kinds of problems with it. But they were working up to it kind of up to the last minute, and somehow it kind of got delivered to the theaters in sort of this unfinished state. And so what they've done is, like a video game, maybe this analogy will help you, they've patched it. And we need to go back and do a little bit of history here. So back in the OG film days, they would give the theater an actual film reel to play on the projectors, and you'd have the projector guy that has to set up the reels and everything.
Splice it all together.
Yes. And then when we've kind of gone to digital, they would give like these, basically a hard drive that you would plug into like what is basically a server rack. You'd plug it in and
project the image from
right, and that's kind of nice because there's all kind of advantages to that.
Mm-hmm.
And now what it is basically, since the internet speed and infrastructure, everything has gotten so good, most places in developed countries just send the file over the internet. No, it's not streamed. They send it over the internet. Yeah, just like you're downloading it, basically. That allows. So now
they just send you a new file. Like, hey,
they just send a little update or just a wholly new. It's just kind of crazy that we can do it these days. And then my brain goes, of course, to like the George Lucases of the world, and it's never finished and always updating things, and people can see the different.
You can have like a Cats 2.0 or 2.4 or 2.5 or something stupid. Like, this one's almost the same as the other one. It's just a little different.
Yeah. And there's people who nerd out on that type of shit. Obviously, we watched the despecialized versions of Star Wars.
Han shot first.
Right, exactly. I will die on that.
Fuck yeah, I will, dude. That's fighting words. Anybody want to fight? You fucking meet me outside right now on the bike racks, bro.
So my mind goes to that, and also the preservation aspect too, because I'm just that kind of person. Obviously, we did an episode on the death
analog and digital,
right? The death of physical media.
Yeah,
that's something important to me. Is preserving things.
If everything's just living out on the net, basically, like, or sitting on somebody's server somewhere in a studio's IT room.
And then the other thing about this topic is it also goes into which is the true version of the film, the original version. And
I like having lots of options because it gives people more like, oh, I like this one better, and I like this one better, and that's cool and stuff. But I don't know. Do we really need like 10 versions of the movie Cats? You know what I mean? Do we really need like 10 versions of fucking Les Miserables and all this, like, I don't know, maybe. I mean,
the topic is not about...
Fan movies are cool, like when you see like alternate things of like Star Wars and stuff, like, or like when that person made like a Stormtroopers cops like version or whatever, where they're following around on the jet speeders and Tatooine and stuff like that, and they're just like, it's just one crime at a time, man. You know what I mean? I got transferred here from the Death Star, I wanted something a little chiller, a little cool, you know what I mean? I can see my family more. That was hilarious. I like that type of shit, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, when big studios have like ultimate control over every like version of the movie.
# release the Snyder Cut.
Right? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like I said, the George Lucases of the world will be like scooping up other versions that they deemed unworthy of the name, whatever, Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who like the little continuity errors and the little things that you can see the mic in the corner of the whatever. Totally. They like that sort of thing.
Like,
and then there's some people
in the back of the original like Star Trek fight scene between like the lizard guy and Shatner. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that's very obviously a costume. That's a zipper.
And there's some people who would argue that I want the latest CG remastered version of whatever, or there's some people would be like, I like the puppets and the practical effects and everything.
Of the first one, yeah. More options is better, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about that.
Another thing I should mention is, at least my understanding of the reason that this sort of happened is because they're doing everything up to the last minute to try to push a deadline to get this movie out in this particular time. It's the Christmas season, and I think it also might have something to do with like the Oscar season or something like that.
But they're doing the South Park method, the 6 days to air kind of a thing. They can put an entire episode together in 6 fucking days. And sometimes it's shit, and sometimes it's like genius. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of pushed back the ability for them to do that. Where like instead of having this hardcore deadline that they can have to have the movie done by, they'll be like, I mean, have it around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if we patch it a week or two later, it's no big deal. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know if I'm cool with that. I don't like this whole like, hey, we released this movie and it's like half-assed. Sorry, there's like a tennis ball that's actually supposed to be Dobby's head, like walking by or whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I mean? And people should have got some money back, in my humble opinion. Like if you paid like $9-10 for the movie or whatever, you should have got like $1 or $2 back for some of the CGI missing and the characters not there or whatever. God damn it. I wanted to see Cats the whole damn thing. I didn't want to see like a bunch of people with like motion capture gear on, like, you know.
There's a thing about Jason Derulo's like penis.
What about it?
I didn't even want to look into it, dude. But
was it like that movie Labyrinth with
David Bowie
with his like sock wiener, like on 1986's Labyrinth movie, David Bowie.